Hello children, once again welcome to Armstrong Computers channel, more or less segment of Armstrong Coding Club. As you can see yourself, you are putting codes together. I can see your children, they are putting code together and they are learning how to use HTML and CSS to craft their design. And more or less you can see they are creating some animation scene and also creating some couple of shapes. Okay, now before we start, I'd like us to just go ahead with our slogan by saying Coding Club.
Yeah! I'm now a coding pro!
Yes indeed, you are now a coding pro. Now without wasting my time, let's start with today's segment. Today's segment we are going to focus on how to then create, how they call it, a style shape using HTML and CSS. How we can use HTML and CSS to create a style shape. Without wasting my time, let's dive straight to the shape that we are going to create. Now remember, I told you that before you code your shape, make sure you plan it. Planning simply means you design it, okay, as to how you want it to look like. Are you sure I get it? So without wasting my time, let's get started. To get started, what I like us to do, we're going to use something we call paint to create our shape. Then from there we'll go ahead by using our HTML and CSS to style our shape, more or less to bring our style shape to life. Now let's launch paint. I'll press the start button and type paint. And as you can see, this is my paint, so I'll click on it. Okay, and I know you've done that. Clap for yourself. Okay, after clapping for yourself, now the next thing we are going to look at is that, as I told you, that the star shape we are going to code, we would like to use, how do you call it, paint. And after drawing it, we'll go ahead and then code it using HTML and CSS. So let's look at that. So first, what I like you to do is that look through the home ribbon and select this very shape called triangle. Okay, so just look through the home ribbon, select triangle. So let's do that. So after selecting your triangle, again look through the home ribbon. Under the color palette, I'd like you to select color red. Okay, so I just did that. Now come back here and then you drag to draw your triangle. Okay, I know you've done that. Now clap for yourself. Okay, so after clapping for yourself, the next one I'd like us to do is that we are going to duplicate the same shape. Okay, we are going to duplicate the same shape. So to do that, I'd like you to go ahead and click on the edit area. Remember, I told you that the working area of paint is known as edit area. So go ahead and click on that. So I just click. Now after clicking, just bring the mouse pointer to the top edge here and then go ahead and drag to draw your shape again. Okay, so you can see here I just draw my shape. So bring the mouse pointer to the middle of this side, click and hold and drag it closer onwards on the second shape. So you have the first shape is behind the second shape. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you a trick. So now we need to rotate the second shape that is on the first shape. So what we need to do is that we'll look through the home ribbon under the image logical group. This is where we have rotate. Click on the arrow beside rotate, and from the rotate drop down list, click on rotate 180 degrees. Ta-da! Okay, I know you've done that. Clap for yourself. Okay, so I've taken that from the way, bring the mouse pointer here and carry it and bring it down here and ta-da! Okay, so click on the edit area. Done. Now we are going to do something. You know, our star shape is going to be color red. So as our star shape is going to be color red, I'd like you to look through the home ribbon under the tools logical group, select what we have fill with color. Click on it and make sure your color one is red and bring the mouse pointer, click to fill red, click to fill red, come to this side, click to fill red, click to fill red, click to fill red, click to fill red, and click. Ta-da! Okay, this is our star shape, and this is what we are going to achieve when we code. Okay, we are going to use code to create this perfectly. Okay, that is just by the way. Now, after taking this from the way, now we would like to write our name here, and then write the name of the shape and our name here also. So how do we do that? To do that, I'd like you to come and select color black from the color palette. Then after that, look through the home ribbon. Under the tools logical group, click on text. Then go ahead and draw your text. So come to where we have text and increase the font size to 72. You can equally make it 48. If you like, you can equally make it 28. Okay, 28 it is, and it's okay. So I'll go ahead and type my name. So my name, being your instructor, Prince Armstrong. You can easily call me Sir Armstrong. So I'm going to type Prince. Okay, first let me bring the shape first, the name of the shape first. Below the name of the shape bears my name. Okay, so let's do that. So it's going to be style shape. Okay, so this is my style shape, and I'll bring the mouse pointer to the top here, carry it up a little bit here, or maybe the middle here, resize this. Okay, then I'll press enter. Then I'll type my name, known as Prince Armstrong. Armstrong Coding Club, take control. Digits and lights make the whole. Okay, so after typing my name, now you can see here I want the whole thing to be centered, so I'm going to carry this and put it somewhere here and pull the cursor to where my star is and press the space bar bit by bit to shift it to the center. Do the same thing to Prince Armstrong to the center. Then I'll go ahead and click on my text area. Ta-da! This is what we are going to achieve. Clap for yourself. Okay, now after we are done creating the shape, this is what we want to achieve using the HTML and CSS. So now let's dive straight by coding our shape. You see, this is my desktop. Remember, I'm coding a star shape. Remember, I taught you that before you create any web page, make sure you create a folder, and in that folder you save your web page. So first, let's create our folder. So I'll right click on the desktop, send a mouse pointer to new, and click on folder. So I'll go ahead and type style shape. Okay, so after typing my style shape, now I'm going to launch my text editor known as Sublime Text. So first, what I'll do, I'll press the start button and type Sublime Text. So as you can see here, this is my Sublime Text being the text editor. So I'll go ahead and double click on it for it to open. So you can see my Sublime Text is open. Now what I'm going to do again, I'm going to save, how they call it, this, because we have untitled, I'm going to save my Sublime Text in the folder created on the desktop. So let's look at that. So first, to do that, click on File, and from the File menu, click on Save As. Then go ahead and then select your desktop, which is where we have organized. Select desktop. So after select that, you can see the folder we created known as star shape. Double click on it to open, and come to where we have file name and give it a name as index. So index.html. Then after that, go ahead and click on save. Done. Clap for yourself after doing all this. Okay, so after clapping for yourself, the next one like us to do, we are going to do our doc declaration by declaring the HTML tag. So what we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and say, bring the left angle bracket and say HTML, and then in between the title where the cursor is blinking here, we are going to give it a title known as style shape. Okay, so after that, in between the body, we are going to bring the div container. In the div container, we'll call the star shape. We'll give a class to the star object known as what? Star shape. So let's do that. So bring the div container, and we'll go ahead and then give it a class. And the class, we're going to call it style. Well, you can choose to type it in capital, small letters, any which way that you are okay with. So style, or you can easily call it shape if you want to. So let's use shape. Done. Now in between the shape, remember that we wrote our name below the shape that we will sketch. So press enter and bring another div container. And give it a class and call it what? Text. Okay, now in between the opening brackets of the div container and the closing bracket, in between type your shape, the name of your shape. So style, shape, and bring the break tag, and you go ahead and bring your name. Okay, so after taking that from the way, now we are going to go ahead and then use our CSS to bring our shape to life. Now when you click on file and click on save, and then you would like to view your web page in your browser, just bring the mouse pointer here, right click on it and click on open in browser, and you can see this is the only thing that we have here, which is the star shape and our name. Okay, but the other div container, which is the star shape, the class that we give it as shape, is not showing. But don't worry, we are going to use CSS to bring that to life. Now after doing this, I'd like you to clap for yourself. Okay, now let's dive straight to my Sublime text. So in my Sublime text, I'm going to use CSS, okay, to then style my shape. CSS simply means cascading style sheet. Say it again, cascading style sheet. That's CSS. So CSS means cascading style sheet. So it is used to style HTML elements. Now you got this thing right. Let's dive straight to style our shape. Now bring the mouse pointer to where we have title, the closing tag of the title. As the cursor is blinking, press enter. Then I'd like you to bring the style element by saying style. Then in between the opening tag and the closing tag of the style, put the cursor here, press enter. Then you go ahead, remember here we gave a div container here and we call it shape. You can see it here, this is called shape. So we are going to call this shape in the style. Remember, we are writing inline CSS. Inline CSS. Say after me. Correct. Inline CSS. So let's go ahead and then do so. I'm going to say shape. So let's do that. Shape, and I'll bring my curly bracket. Press enter. So after pressing enter, I'm going to say position. And the position is going to be absolute. Then after that, I'm going to say width 0, height 0. Break the barriers, rewrite the fate. From morning till night, programs create syntax and elegance. Watch it unfold. Then I'm going to do border left. Armstrong Coding Club, be a coding pro. Write the future, come on, let's go. Armstrong Coding Club, take control. Digits and lines. And the border left, I'm going to say 50 pixels, which is going to be solid. and it's going to be transparent. Transparent. Okay, then I'm going to do border right. Which is just going to be 50 pixels, solid, and also transparent. Then I'm going to do border bottom. Sorry, it's going to be border bottom. And the border bottom is going to be 80 pixels. Also going to be solid. And the color is going to be red. Well, that was the color we gave to our shape. Then we are going to do something we call top. And the top is going to be 50%. And we do left. And the left is also going to be 50%. Then after that, we'll do transformation, which is transform. And then we're going to say translate. And the translate is going to be minus 50% by minus 50%. Okay, now let's go ahead and save this and then view our refresh our web page and see what we are going to get. So click on file, and from the file menu click on save. Now let's switch to our browser. Now in our browser, go ahead and click on refresh. Ta-da! Okay, clap for yourself. I know you've gotten this, so let's clap for ourselves. Yay! Okay, now after we are done, remember that what we did was that we draw another shape here which covered, and we rotate it with 180 degrees. So we are going to do the same thing, and then we rotate it to 180 degrees. So how do we do that? Well, but before then, let's get to another segment called what? Question time. Yes, you can see question time, and this is just a simple question, and I'd like you guys, okay, you children, to just try your hands and also try your hands on this question. Remember, this is a question time and by Prince Armstrong of Armstrong Computers. So let's look at the first question. It's just one question. Let's try our hands on that. So the question says, what is HTML? What is HTML? Okay, so we have only 15 seconds. The clock starts.
Watch it unfold. Armstrong Coding Club, hearts of gold. Armstrong Coding Club, be a coding pro, write the future. Come on, let's go. Armstrong Coding.
Okay, so I know most of you have the answers, but yes, if you have the answers, just let your parents help you, and I'd like you to comment the answer to the comment section and send it, and let me see, yes indeed, that you got this right. Okay, let's look at the answer to this question. So the answer to the question is HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, is the standard language used to create web pages. Let's take it again. HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, is the standard language used to create web pages. Okay, clap for yourself. Okay, after you've got this, the next one I'd like us to do is let's dive straight to the lesson. Okay, so as you can see, this is what we did, and more or less we just did this by drawing our shape, coding our shape. Now let's dive straight to the text editor. Okay, so in my text editor, I'm going to go ahead and then duplicate what I just did, so far as what the shape is concerned. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and say dot style shape. So in between here, the curly bracket, put the cursor here and press enter. And after pressing enter in between, go ahead and say dot shape and bring column and say after. And bring the curly bracket and press enter. Now remember that in the paint we draw over it and there's one shape after and one on it, and we rotate it at 180 degrees, and that is what we are going to do. So for you to do that, I'd like you to go ahead and then what? And then code that. To do that, I'd like you to just say content and bring the semicolon and bring your semicolon, press enter and say position. Go ahead and say absolute. Then I'd like you to go ahead and say width 0, height 0. Okay, then let's do border left. And border left, let's make it 50 pixels. And it should be solid. And let it be what? Transparent. Then after that, let's go ahead and do border right. And let's do the border right also 50 pixels. And also solid. And also transparent. Then after that, let's do something we call border top. And let's do the border top 80 pixels. And let's make it solid. And let's make it color blue. And I'll show you something. Then let's press enter and say margin. And let's do the margin 30 pixels by 0 by 0 less 50 pixels. Okay, save that. So click on file and click on save. Now we've made the we've turned the other triangle 360, and then we did the color should be color blue. Let's dive straight to the browser and refresh our web page. So as you can see in our browser, we are going to go ahead and refresh our web page. So you can see we have blue. Okay, I know you've done that. Clap for yourself. Okay, so after clapping for yourself, the next we are going to do is we want to change this color to color red because it is blue. How do we do this? To do this, let's go straight to our text editor. So in our text editor here, where the blue is, put the cursor there, backspace what is there, and I'd like you to type red. So RED. Click on file. From the file menu, click on save. Now I'd like you to switch to your browser. So in your browser, let's go ahead and refresh. So bring the mouse pointer here and click. Ta-da! It is red. Clap for yourself. Okay, so after clapping for yourself, the next one I'd like us to do is that we would like to then bring the shape, which is style shape, and our name just below what our shape, which is our style shape. How do we do that? Now let's dash straight to the text editor. So in our text editor, remember that in our HTML here, we create a div container and we give a class to the div container as text. So we are going to call that text in the CSS and then style it by bringing the shape and our name below our shape. How do we do that? So to do that, put a cursor at the end point of the current bracket and press enter and say dot text and bring the current bracket, press enter. Then I'd like you to go ahead and say position. The position will say is absolute. Okay, then we are going to say top, and the top we are going to say is 49%. Now let me show you something. Click on file and click on save. So now let's go to the browser and I'll explain something for you to understand. Remember, we said the top should be 49. Go to the browser and I'll explain something. Now in our browser here, this is our text. So when I refresh, it's going to bring this down a little bit. Let's refresh and see. You see. Okay, so we need to adjust it a little bit so it will come down here so that it will fit in here. Okay, where here we are going to use another element called left, but let's focus on the top to bring this down a little bit. So how do we do that? Now let's go back to the text editor and then increase the number and bring it down a little bit. So in our text editor, we need to change the top again from, let's say 49 to, let's try 80, and click on file and then click on save. Now let's dash straight to the browser. So in our browser, let's refresh. Okay, this is quite okay. You can see it here, just come down. Okay, let's then increase it again to, okay, now it's okay. I think this is okay, but let's shift it to the center. Now I know some of you are going to do align center. No, we're going to use align center. We're going to use another element called what? Left. Okay, let's dash straight to the text editor. So in my text editor, put a cursor here, just closer beside the top, and press enter and go ahead and say left. So your left, let's try 47%, and then go ahead and click on file and then click on save. Now switch to your browser. So in your browser, go ahead and refresh. Okay, this is quite okay, but here the case, we want to adjust it so that it to be at the center exactly. Okay, so how do we do that? Okay, now to do this, what I like us to do is that go back to the text editor. So let's then decrease it to 41. Click on file, click on save. Let's go to the browser and refresh. Okay, you can see there. Now you can see that the H is also then touching the shape, but we don't want the H to touch the shape, so let's bring it down, which means we are going to increase the top. Let's dash straight to the text editor. So in my text editor, I will then increase my 80 to, let's say 83. Click on file and click on save. Now let me go to my browser and refresh my browser. Then I'll click on refresh. You can see it here. Okay, ta-da! If you are done, I'd like you to clap for yourself. Okay, so far so good. This brings us to the end of this segment. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Prince Armstrong, or your instructor. See you when I see you in the next segment. So I will not leave you by saying coding clap, and you have to respond.
Yeah! I'm now a coding pro!
Yes, indeed, you are now a coding pro. That is just for today. Bye-bye.